Hi, Soulful Spirits. Linda Roberts here. Today I want to start the Inner Child Challenge. I'm so happy to be offering this. I was talking with my spirit guides and asking, what can I do to help people right now with the way their lives are and what's going on with them? And the inner child healing is, oh my gosh, someone's car alarm is going off. The inner child healing is a tremendous way to find clarity and balance and to help you with some of those limiting beliefs and some of those lack of boundaries that we sometimes have. So I want to explain what I mean by this. So this is day 1 of 3 of the challenge. We're going to meet here tomorrow and Thursday, same time, same place, noon. And I want to go over some of the topics. Each one of these builds upon another. So they are recorded. If you can't make it, watch the recording and check in and do some of the exercises in that because it's really valuable information. And I love learning about my own inner child. I connected with her for the first time about 10 years ago, and oh my gosh, helped to transform my life in so many ways, connecting with this part of my soul and my spirit, this inner child concept. So what I want to do is today we're going to talk a little bit about the concept of the inner child, and then we're going to focus on boundaries and having healthy boundaries today and what that looks like, and give you some examples of that. So we're probably going to be on for just probably 20, maybe 30 minutes. That's it. But then come back tomorrow because tomorrow I've got another topic. I'm going to look at having that level of reassurance. I have my notes over here to the side, so I'm going to look off to the side. But tomorrow will be about reassurance, needing that reassurance, needing that affirmation from others, and how that can be a detriment if it's too much for you. So let me get into this inner child concept. From my perspective, on the energy side of things and the spiritual side of things, the inner child is this part of our being that is very childlike, not childish. There's a difference, but childlike. And so being childlike and knowing that we are actually, children of our Creator, we're this, offshoot or offspring, that we're here to learn and to grow like children. Okay, so trying to envision and embrace that child concept, even though if you're an adult and you're adulting, embrace that child concept a little bit more in your life, and that's going to help to give you clarity. One of the things I always like to tell people is when I do healing on people, sometimes I tap into their inner dialogue and I can hear some of the things that they say to themselves, and it's harsh. And so in some of my healings, what I talk about with them is softening that inner critic and softening the words that you're saying to yourself. Because would you say them to a child? Would you say them to your own child? Would you say them to a grandchild? Probably not. So you want to remember you've got this inner child within you. And I always, I'm a visual person, so I always envision that mine is in my heart area and in my heart chakra. So if I do like a connecting with this spirit or this part of me, I usually focus on the heart area. So hi Joyce, good to see you. So the inner child concept is one in which it's this child that's within us and always has been within us. From the shamanic point of view, what I envision is this inner child is a guide of ours. Hi Janice. So she or he can guide us along our life's journey and our life's path. I feel that we often come here on earth with an intention or a purpose or a to-do list. I want to learn about X, Y, or Z, or I want to have this experience, or I want to be, I want to study this particular thing, or I want to, I want to have these types of experiences. So we kind of have an agenda or a to-do list, but there's wiggle room. And so this inner child, she knows the way. But if you're talking badly to her all the time and you're beating her up and you're not giving her any kudos, you're not complimenting her or anything like that, is she really going to step up and help you and guide you? She's probably going to shrink. And she's probably going to say, ouch, I don't like this. I don't want to be here. And so this is a part of this inner child healing that I'm talking about. So today I want to focus on boundaries. Do you have healthy boundaries in your life? Do you have them with your loved ones, human or animal? Do you have them with anybody you work with family members, with friends, with associates? How are those boundaries? So take some time to reflect upon that after this video. Where are your boundaries? And do you think you're holding true to those boundaries? Are you saying no to situations or to people when they ask you for help if it doesn't feel like it's a good time for you, or if it doesn't feel like it's in alignment with your soul intention or your purpose? Connecting with this inner child is going to help you to know how you're in alignment, what you're in alignment with, and whether you should say yes or no. Okay, so having a connection with this inner child is going to help you with those healthy boundaries. I know people are like, well, I don't want to sound mean, I don't want to sound harsh when I say no to something. But when you say yes to something that you don't really want to do, you're saying no to something that maybe you did want to do. You understand? Because you only have a certain number of time and energy to focus on certain things in your life. So try to remind yourself it's okay to say no. You can say it in a loving and balanced and compassionate way. There are many different ways that you can say no to someone, or to say no, not right now. Now's just not a good time. Let's revisit this in a month, or try me next year. If a charity comes to me asking for a donation, which I do love to donate to many different charities, I usually have a rotation so that each year I try to donate to like 4 or 6 different charities. And if a new charity comes in that one year that I've already had, the charities established, I say, well, I can't this year, but try me next year. Put me on the list for next year, because next year maybe you'll get a turn. Because I like to do a rotation. I like to, share the love and spread the wealth, and donate to different charities from year to year. So it can be a no, not right now, right? And so that may be a softer way for you to get comfortable with saying no and being in that space, and that's okay. Do what feels right for you and do what's in alignment with you. But remember, when you say yes, 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 and you spread yourself so thin, you're going to deplete yourself, and you're going to have a harder time connecting with your soul's intention and your soul's purpose and your inner child. So remember to carve out a little bit of time for yourself so you can connect. So you can connect with that part of you that's going to help you to be in alignment with your purpose. Okay, so I'm just looking at my notes. So don't forget, when you overextend yourself and you do not have healthy boundaries, you could exacerbate any sort of physical conditions or mental wellness conditions as well. Because maybe you're too busy thinking about everyone else, and then you all of a sudden turn and you slip and you pop your hip out of joint or alignment because you've been so busy helping other people, or maybe you just get tired and drained emotionally from being there for other people. And there are situations and times when, yes, we do need to step up and be, caretakers or be there in supporting positions with people in times of distress and in times of need. Like if there's a forest fire, of course, a hurricane, or someone's having a mental breakdown or a miscarriage or whatever it may be, yes, you can decide, okay, I'm gonna, give them all this time, but then in a week or in 2 weeks, I need to go and withdraw and I need to take care of myself for a bit, and then I can come back to them to help. So balance, remember, balance is the name of the game. And so it really helps to balance this with the inner child, because she's watching. It's like she's inside and she's just kind of watching you and cheering you on, of course, when you're doing things great. But also she's a guide. So pay attention to this inner child, this inner voice that's within you. At the end here, I'm going to tell you how to do that. So I want to share an example with boundaries. So I have known several people in my life that have been challenged with learning healthy boundaries. Of course, I was one of them. And so I learned this a good 10 years ago, and I still continue to learn. I'm still tested on it, I'm sure. But there have been people in my life who I have loved and supported and tried to help with this concept because I know it's so valuable. But so there was this friend, and she was going through she had gone through a difficult divorce. There were children involved. She was divorced, and she was hesitant to say no to her ex-husband whenever he was asking her to do things. So he would make these unreasonable requests of having her to do some things, and so he wasn't doing things that he should have been doing with the children. But he was just pushing her boundaries and pushing her limits and what she was comfortable with. Asking her to take care of his house when he was gone traveling, and just some odd things. And it was frustrating for her, but she was afraid. She was afraid of the repercussions of saying no to him. And so what I mentioned to her was, okay, so you've got this inner child. How are you protecting her? You were a wonderful mother. You love your children. You're doing all these things for your children. You do have a child within you. What are you saying to her? And what are you doing for her? Because she's watching this. So you do want to think about nurturing that inner child as much as you can. Of course, in a balanced way, nurture your inner child and then help someone else with their inner child, which I hope is this experience for you during this inner child challenge over the next 3 days, where you can connect more with this inner child. And so, it took her time, but gradually she realized that she did have to set up some healthy boundaries, and she did have to say no. This is not my place anymore. You're the one who wanted the divorce. You're the one who moved away, and you're the one. This is a different kind of relationship now. So she was able to stand her ground and to hold firm on these boundaries. But I really think a part of why she was doing that was because of this lack of inner child and lack of connecting with the inner child. We think of children as actually, in our society oftentimes, we think of children as weak and needing protection and needing guidance. To some degree that is true, but they're also quite strong, and they're also quite honest with you. So connecting with this inner child is going to help you to stand in your boundaries a little bit firmer and hold firm with them. As an animal communicator, I cannot tell you how many times, thousands of times, I've had dogs and cats tell me, these humans have no boundaries with me. I can do anything. And so the people call me up because the animals are misbehaving, or they're destroying property, or they're hurting other people. They're barking or biting or whatever it may be. and the animals tell me, I have no boundaries. I can do anything. And so I have a conversation with the humans about boundaries and inviting them to come into a space where they can guide the animal to have that boundary. So it's applicable to animals as well. So honor that inner child, honor your boundaries, keep them healthy and balanced with whatever feels right for you. Only you can decide what is a healthy boundary and what isn't. So it's an individual case. So you need to decide what's acceptable for you and what's not acceptable for you. So I think some of the reason for, if we peel back a veil or a curtain, some of the reason why people are lax in their boundaries is they don't want to hurt anybody, and they don't want to not be liked. There's this fear of, I have to be liked. I have to be liked and loved by everybody. And I feel that that's an illusion, because we are so different and unique from one another. I think that that's an illusion, and there's a wound behind that feeling or that statement. Maybe a wound of abandonment, where you feel you have to be loved and liked by everybody. But I feel that that's not really honoring your true self, and that's not honoring that inner child. So, some of the examples of having too soft of boundaries is when you're overcommitting to people and events, when you're overcommitting yourself to loved ones or to work or to doing events or helping out or volunteering, whatever it may be, being there for someone. You've got to decide, again, what is that balance? If it is negatively affecting your mental well-being and or your physical well-being, then I would say you need to pause and evaluate where you are with that and see if you can shift or pivot or take a different course of action or find some other help. So when we do step back away from somebody temporarily, maybe it does open up a door for someone else to come in to help and support them. I talk about this a lot with people who have left relationships, usually through divorce, and I let them know, well, you understand when this relationship dissolves, maybe you've given it all you possibly could have, it allows an opening for the other person to have a relationship and for you to have a relationship. So you're creating an opening and an opportunity there for someone else to come in, and maybe for another soulmate to come in to help you or to help that ex-partner of yours. So try to think of it in a positive way as best you can. Also, take care of yourself. You've got to have some downtime for yourself and nurture yourself. Some of us do that on the weekends. Some of us overexert ourselves on the weekends. Sometimes we go and we regroup, or we do some reflective things, or we do mindful things for ourselves. But try to do it a couple times a week, not just one day if you can, because then it becomes a little more habitual. And I know, if you've ever read the book Atomic Habits, I highly recommend it. It's by James Clear. So it's about incrementally making a change and a shift in your life, just a little, like 1% move, 1% movement of doing something, and then it builds and it grows, and it eventually becomes a habit. And they say we are only as good as our habits and our processes. So think about doing just a little bit of love and care for yourself a couple times a week, if not on a daily basis. All right, so connecting. How do we connect to that inner child? So one way I want to talk about today, and I'll tell you new ways tomorrow and Thursday, but today's tip of connecting with that inner child would be to do a meditation to connect with her. Maybe put your hands on your heart if you feel that's where she is. Close your eyes and send a message and connect with her and see what you feel and see if you get any sensations or feelings or imagery or voices in response to you checking in with her. Something I like to do is I like to hands on my heart, and I like to say, hey, how are you doing? What can I do to make you better? Because I feel that she's like this pure part of me and of you, and so she's got like this crystal ball. She's got like this level of clarity that isn't or hasn't been as clouded as what's going on with me and my my cerebellum. And so I feel that she's a very wise guide, and connecting with her can help you to find out, do I have boundary issues? Do I need to make some changes in my life about people pleasing? Um, and so going inward and discovering what is unfolding for her is really beneficial for you to do that. So I'm open to any comments that you may have. Feel free to put them in the comments if you're watching it live or if you're watching the replay of it. And remember, you've got a guide within you. You are not alone by any means. This inner child is very wise and very smart and can guide you along your life's journey. So connecting with her, again, through a mindful practice, maybe a meditation, maybe if you don't like to sit, maybe you can do a mindful movement, but doing something to connect with her is really going to help you along your way, and it's going to help you with those boundaries. So I gave you a lot of information today to help you to connect with that inner child, but also be aware of the boundary issue and maybe what's behind that. And so tomorrow, as I said, we will meet again here, same time, same place. Tomorrow is going to be about reassurance. Hi, Jennifer. And so we're going to talk about needing reassurance and what is it about us. Why is that part of our inner child lacking in us, or why are we needing that reassurance from others? And so we'll get into more of that to help you. So I hope you have found this challenge beneficial. This is the first day, which I'm excited about. 1 of 3. We will meet tomorrow here, same time, same place, noon Central, for learning more about that inner child and healing her, and talking about reassurance and how the inner child can help you with that need or desire to have a lot of reassurance. So we'll see you tomorrow. Feel free to comment on this again and or watch the replay. It'll be in the video section of our group. Thanks. Bye for now.